I know, same scene, but I promise it's a different video. Well, as you guys know, we stayed in Gardner, Montana again last night. Got my iPad, got a good night's sleep. And while everybody's getting ready, I'm out here enjoying this beautiful view as my office space while I go through and do all my emails and so on and so forth. And I'm a day behind because I didn't have my iPad yesterday morning. And there's some things that I don't have linked to my phone that I only do on my iPad. So I got to get caught up on those. All right, finally all done with the morning work. Now I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy the rest of my coffee while looking at the scenery. And about half an hour ago, Talon decided to join me. All right, guys, we are ready to hit the road. I've come up with a plan. I think we're still gonna stay another night up here in Gardner after today. Well, after today, we're coming back to stay in Gardner, but not at this hotel. They were fully booked. We found a Super 8 on the other side of the river, but we still got a lot of this park to see. So we're gonna get to it. This time I remembered to take the lens cap off of the 360 camera. We're gonna try to do the little ride through the arch like I did 2 days ago, but recorded complete darkness. Okay, so we made it down to the Old Faithful parking lot, getting ready to walk into the visitor center, check this area out. Man, the park is a little extra crowded today, especially down in this section. It's a lot of traffic. Some of the spots it was, 45 mile an hour, but the cars in front of us were only doing 25, 30. It's kind of a pain in the butt when you actually wanted to get someplace. No, I get it. It's a national park, not a racetrack, but we were just trying to get someplace and wanted to do the speed limit. And there's signs clearly everywhere that slower traffic, use the pull-offs to let the other people through. But there were 2 cars in front of us and literally like 90 cars behind us. They were holding everybody up.
But I was like, nope. And I kind of understood when I saw him.
All right, guys, we are just now walking up the Old Faithful. We didn't get all the way up there, but it is going off right now.
Yeah, but not what I wanted. It has like all the people in it. Oh.
Well, that was pretty cool. That one only lasted, 4 or 5 minutes or so. Looks like the buffalo were watching it and hanging out. But yeah, look at how many people are here. This place was crowded and waiting for it to happen. Well, we timed that just right. So there's not much else here that we really want to see. But we did pass a few things on the way here that looked really busy and looked really cool. So we're gonna backtrack a little bit to Prismatic Springs. I think that's where the springs are that are all really colorful. That looked like it'd be really cool to see. And then we're gonna bust another U-turn, come back through this direction, but keep heading towards West Thumb or Big Thumb or whatever it is, the thumb of some sort. All right, guys, on the way backtracking towards Madison Junction, it's this little road. It's a one-way road called Fire Lake Drive. As we're coming along, I saw this absolutely crystal clear spring that's a very beautiful aqua color. So I had to pull over and take a look at it. All right, guys, check that out. That's got to be every bit of, I don't know, probably 12, 14 feet deep. You can see all the way down to the bottom. It's a beautiful color. All right, guys, and just another couple 100 feet up, we found a bigger one. This one's a lot hotter. We can just feel the steam coming off. But yeah, it's sitting there boiling and bubbling as we watch it.
We'll touch that one. No. There's another little hole up there, like right at the start of where the pull-off was. It's got it like built up.
All right, guys, and this one, just another couple 100 feet down, it's like a really deep black hole.
That was just like that's like where you want your.
And I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but you can see the top edge, like of the inside of the hole, but it looks like they taper back. Like this whole mound may be hollow because you can't see the bottom, you can't see walls except for a couple of inches from the very top. And it just looks like looks like an abyss. Okay, now we are actually at Firehole Lake. Looks like a pond on this side, lake on this side. Both of them have bubbly stuff going on.
Toasty.
Before it's completely like what we would want to do. Just watching us.
All right, guys, so we were just up there when I showed that water flowing under the little bridge. It went under the road and it flows down all of this. That's where those other hot springs were. Now there are a few more right in here as well. And it flows down here. Just check out how crystal clear that water is. Then it flows under this little bridge and into the lake. And of course, there's obviously more boiling hot springs right here as well.
That includes the children.
So kind of funny, guys, as we're walking back up the path, the way that the motorcycles are parked, it looked like Talon's bike was missing. From this angle, it is perfectly behind my motorcycle. Sorry, it's really hard to hold this camera steady, but there you can see it starting to poke out. There it is. Back down by Madison Junction, we made a left onto Fire Hole Canyon Drive. It's another one of those one ways, and of course there's another set of absolute beautiful waterfalls. Stopped this other place where it's like painted pot springs or something like that, and I saw this old white here. Just thought it was cool. It's almost like a bus limousine kind of weird thing. Really cool. It's got government plates and it says Yellowstone Park on it, so maybe it's a tour bus for the park. I don't know.
Someone jumped in and jumped in.
It did look that deep. Now this you can see the drop off. Alright guys, so we found another pull-off area. Well, not really pull-off, it's like an exhibit area, whatever. I'm not sure if this is where the prismatic ones are. We're hoping that's what it is. I mean, we've seen enough hot springs, we kind of get the idea. We're just seeing more of the same stuff. And it's all beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it does get a little redundant. I'm hoping this place is really good because we sat in line in traffic to get into the parking lot for about 25 minutes. So there you can see the line, but it goes all the way up around until it meets the road, which is way up there, and then down the turning lane quite a ways. You really can't see it, but we had to kind of illegally park over there on the other side of that car. Not really a parking spot. We tried not to block the dumpster, but it's not a parking spot. Now, a few miles back, we pulled off. Amanda wanted to just kind of touch the water in the river. So we gave her that opportunity, and she said it was warm. She said it was like bath water in the actual river. And that's because this river happens to run along all of these hot spring type areas. And a lot of them flow into the river, kind of like what's right here in front of me. So that right there is all hot water, waterfalls into the cold river. Alright guys, this one once again is that beautiful aqua blue at top, but this is much, much larger. If you look at the boardwalk and the people in comparison, it's like down in a crater. But then as it flows over here, the water is crystal clear, and then it gets to the yellowy stuff before it flows down the hill into the river.
Sorry.
Alright guys, this up here is the Grand Prismatic Springs. Unfortunately, being level with it, it's hard to really see it in its vastness. This is what it kind of looks like from an aerial view that we can't see because I did not build a platform here.
This looks real warm. Let's go.
Let's go. I wonder if people all that freezing is good.
So apparently on the other side of the prismatic spring, or the Grand Prismatic Spring, there's a mountain, right? Up on that mountain, there is an observation point where you can look down on the spring. It's still pretty far away from it, but the trail to get there is quite a long trail. It starts way over there somewhere, and I think we've decided we're not going to do that. If you look way down there, there's another one kind of erupting. It flows into the river as well. All right, guys, we were just getting ready to gear up and hit the road. We all went to the restroom before heading out, and came out of the bathroom, and literally like 5 feet from the bathroom, the buffalo just scratching himself on a tree. Don't worry, I'm not gonna pet the big fluffy cow. Again, look at him shaking the tree around. Scratching his head. right, so we just arrived at the West Thumb area. This first little pull off here where you can get a view of the lake. And then looks like we're gonna get back on the road and just drive along the lake until we get up to like Fisherman's Bridge and stuff like that. Guys, so it is a pretty good sized lake. Now this section you're seeing right here is just called the West Thumb. When you look on the map, it kind of looks like a thumb sticking off to the side. So this is actually a relatively small section of the lake. You can see between those two little land masses over there, that's what goes into the big section of the lake that is before that large mountain range on the other side. So I know that we're nowhere near there, but the waters here, because it is so clear and you can see through it, it reminds me of Caribbean waters. It really does. Here there's another hot spring and the water is just running right down into the lake. Guys, I don't know if the beautifulness of the blue is coming out on camera or not, but it's beautiful blue. And if you see the water itself, it's crystal clear. But whatever is underneath is a beautiful color. All right, this one is called the Abyss Pool, and I don't know if you can tell, but there's just no bottom to it. All right, guys, on our way to Fisherman's Wharf, I hit another really nasty bump in the road. I mean, some of these roads are terrible to here, and then it was too late. I couldn't avoid it, but I guess it shoved the front suspension up far enough. It caught the oil cooler again, bent it back down. This time it didn't break a hose because we're getting new hoses on there and they have some flexibility. But the oil cooler bent down, got caught up in the fender. Then all of a sudden I couldn't steer worth a darn. I thought it was some ruts in the road causing the bike to go, but it was a real issue. Then when I got here and I got to a stop, I turned it, I could hear the fender pop off of it. So we bent it back up, but yeah, we gotta be careful going the rest of the way home. All right, guys, that was Fisherman Bridge that we just went over, and that's really all that's there. I was surprised. I mean, there's a visitor center and everything, but I guess the bridge is the feature, and we don't fish, so we didn't stick around for very long. Now we're down the road a little ways at Mud Volcano. I think it's another hot spring, but because they named it Mud Volcano, I'm assuming it's going to be muddy and be somewhat different. It's definitely very sulfury smelling. I mean, very sulfury smelling. And we got another bison, buffalo, whatever. So apparently it used to actually be a little volcano, and in 1870 it exploded, shooting stuff up in the air, and like blew itself apart, and 2 years later it just settled into like a bubbling mud puddle that it is now. Well, once again, fairly interesting, but I think that is going to be possibly our last stop, unless something else stands out. There's a short section here that we haven't been through yet. If something jumps out at us, maybe we'll stop and look. But it's already after 7 o'clock, and we still got quite the ride to get back to the hotel.
And your
Luckily,
wife is hungry.
yeah, and wifey's hungry.
Wifey's
I
hungry.
think we're all hungry. I haven't even had any beef jerky today. I haven't.
Really?
Traffic. We actually have a buffalo walking down the street, so we're all having to slow down to go around them.
Poison at number 25 on the VJ Big 40. It's Mark Goodman with OG VJs. Nina Blackwood and Alan Hunter counting them down for this week in 1988. And the song at number 24 won Britain's prestigious Ivor Novello Award for Best Song musically and lyrically in 1988. That award...
All right, guys, we made it back to Gardner, Montana. Super 8. We can figure out where to check in at. I don't see an obvious office, but we made reservations here for tonight. It's a long day in the park today. It is 10 till 9, and much later than we really wanted to be, but there's a lot of things we wanted to do. Today was our last real day in the park. We will go into the park for a moment yet tomorrow, but not real long, but we'll go over those details tomorrow. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time I see you, keep those engines running. All right, guys, I thought I was closing the video, but I had to show you this Super 8 hotel parking lot right next to the bikes. just a fawn. And right on the other side of the fence, it's the bigger one. Literally only about 10 feet away.